Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Confess It, Baby. Today, we are so excited because for the first time ever, we have our first guest.
I like to call her my little energizer bunny. She is an entrepreneur, a makeup artist, an influencer, and a reality TV star. Sophia Marie Perez, welcome to Confess It, Baby.
I am honored to be your very first guest, and I love the intro. I'm loving that.
We like to go big, baby.
You guys, of course, I have my child with me. Come over here, my young.
You're going to see him walking back and forth in the couch. He's going to be the center, maybe barking. He's going to be the center of attention in this podcast.
Yeah, he likes talking a lot.
He's a little spoiled baby.
So, Sophie, I want to pick we want to pick your brain today. There's a lot of questions. We have a whole list of things that I want to touch
There's just so much
base.
to you. Like,
there's
you're just
so
such
much
an
that I want to hear.
person.
And a lot of things, like, I've known you for such a long time, but there's things that I really haven't, like, picked your brain on. For example, when you left for a full month in October and you did Temptation Island, we never had that real conversation of, like, what went on behind the scenes and all of that. So I want to get into that today.
I'm nervous.
Oh, it's going to be great. But the first question I have for you is, like, how did this opportunity even come to be? Because, I bet there's people out there that probably have a dream like, I want to be on a Netflix Love is Blind. How do you fall into these type of shows?
And explain a little bit the background of the show, because there's so many, Temptation Island,
Love
Island, The Bachelor, so many reality TV shows. So just explain the gist of it and
how the opportunity came to be for you.
Okay, so Temptation Island is basically about 4 couples that are at a crossroads in their relationship. So whether it's that they don't know, when to take the next step, whether that be marriage, moving in together, or they had previous kind of situations happen in their past where this, the trust is lost. Basically, it's the ultimate test for a couple. So 4 couples embark in this journey where they go to Temptation Island, and basically they are split apart. The boyfriend and the girlfriends are split for a month. The boyfriends go into a house with 12 single girls, and the girls go into a house with 12 single men. And they have no contact to their partner. You're like a month, no contact. They're only seeing the little snippets of what's shown in the bonfires. So basically, they're testing their love, if that person is really for them, or if they can find and build a connection with one of the single girls or single guys in the other villas. And that's the gist of the show. So it's spicy, it's juicy, and a lot of twerking and tequila, let's just say, went on in your house.
You represented Miami the right way.
I did.
You went all in.
And how did the opportunity to be on the show came to be for you?
So basically, how the background of how I basically became part of this journey and this reality TV show. I was presented this opportunity via DM. So one of the producers actually DM'd me while I was in my high school sweetheart relationship. I was in a 5-year relationship, and we were on social media. We had our social media presence, and so they originally, and not a lot of people know this, so you guys are getting like the first.
Wow.
Hey, that's what we like. Confess it, baby.
Yeah.
Confess
So
it.
you guys know. I'm telling you guys the real behind the scenes story of how it came to happen. So the producers originally reached out to me and my ex-boyfriend because we were, in a long-term relationship, and they originally wanted to cast us as a couple. And they, I presented this opportunity to my partner, and he was just like, no, it doesn't make sense, school, X, Y, and Z. And I was like, this is a really good opportunity. You're getting paid. We're, in a sense, going into this journey and, testing our love for one another, because at that point we were in a 5-year relationship. But it wasn't in our cards, at least for us two. And it's crazy how everything happens for a reason, because shortly after, me and him go our separate ways, we break up, and I decide to reach back out to the casting director, and I'm like, hey, look, I'm single. I was in a 5-year relationship. I haven't been single in the last 5 years of my life. And I think this would be a really good opportunity for me to give these men in the other house insight that maybe you can be with your person for 5, 6, 10 years, but maybe that person isn't for you.
Yeah.
So they love that. Like they love that. I guess I was coming in with a little bit of like a different kind of perspective for these men. It's not just like, I'm hot, I'm single, let's party.
Yeah, let's ready, which is typically what we see in these type of shows.
Yes, and there's a lot of that. Don't get me wrong. Like I do have fun and we do party, but I feel like I was able to kind of just give them a different perspective, because I did freshly get out of a 5-year relationship, and I didn't really know how to be single. So for me, it was more of an opportunity of like finding myself, and also being able to date and put myself out there, and also be away from my family for a month and have no connection to the outside world, which was challenging.
And after you reached out to that casting director, what was the next step in that?
So the next step was a phone call interview with the casting director, and it's actually really crazy because there's it's a really long process. I think it was almost like
really. I wouldn't have thought that. I was like, you're hired.
Girl,
come to Hawaii.
No, I wish it was that easy. No, girl, it was like a 6-month process. And remember, it was like the midst of COVID,
2020. Mm-hmm.
So it was 2020. So it happened. I got not casted, but I started the interview process before 2020. So it was a phone call interview, then 2 Zoom interviews, 2 online, like, video chatting interviews. And then from there, they fly you out, or they flied me out to LA, where I did the in-person. This was like in March. So it was right before, like I got flown out right before COVID and 2020 and all that stuff hit. So we did an in-person interview, and that was wild. We couldn't talk to anyone. We couldn't communicate with any of the other women, any of the other men. It was a super long process. We actually had to do like a psychological test that was 4 hours long, written down in paper, like A, B, C, like kind of questions.
That's intense.
And it makes sense, right? They don't want to just bring in
have
anyone.
a crazy person in the house that can literally cause chaos.
So we basically had a psych evaluation. We had a medical evaluation. Like, it was a whole thing. And it makes sense because I feel like those are all important things when you're just bringing a bunch of random people from different states all to one kind of place where we're filming. So we did a psych test, we did that, and then it was like the in-person interview in front of the directors, and I was basically in a room with a camera, 5-6 different people just asking me questions like about myself, like, how would you say your love life is? If you if you like a man, are you the type of person that you get what you want? Will you fight for the type of man you want? Like, that was the kind of questions they were asking me, just basically about myself. Like, do you like to party? Are you like, what kind of friend are you in your friend group? And I just kept it like I was
real.
Me. I was me. Like, if you know me, Jen. Jen and I have, and also you two, we've gone out, we've partied together. Like, you guys know, I love my tequila, I love my partying, I'm very high energy, and I literally just kept it raw, real, and myself. And my mindset with it all was like, if this is meant for me, it's gonna happen, and if it's not, I tried it.
That's like, the best mentality.
I didn't put that pressure on me where it was like, I need to get this, I need to be on this show, this is what's gonna set me up. Like, that wasn't the mindset that I had with this, and I feel like that really helped me kind of like just go into it very calm and collected.
Grounded.
And and like, if it happens, it happens. If I end up going to Hawaii and doing this, then it's meant for me. And if not, at least I got flown out to LA.
Yeah. What did you feel when you received that call, or you got that initial email letting you know?
It was surreal because I'm like, oh shit, like, I'm gonna go to Hawaii.
And you've always actually dreamed of being an actress,
Yes.
So I do how did that play in all of this?
So it's full circle because I was a child actor, growing up. I, had agents, I had managers, I lived in LA, and I did pursue that. And I did my commercials here and there, but I never really landed anything that was, like that big deal, like that big job. So I quit acting, moved back to Miami, continued with my regular life, and then this falls in my lap, and now I'm on national television. Like, it was crazy. It was kind of full circle. And when I got that phone call, it was like, wow, like, this really was meant to be. Like, I'm really meant to go to Hawaii and, be put in this environment, this new situation. And it was like a mix of excitement and like nervous because it's like the unknown, right? Yeah. Like, I didn't know what was gonna happen, who was gonna be there, what was gonna be portrayed of me.
Yeah, you're by yourself in a whole new place and a whole different people.
Don't have a phone to call and be like, Mommy, oh my God,
pick me up.
Like, pick me up, Mom. I don't want to be here.
I'm going home.
Did not have that. So it was scary, but it was also like thrilling, kind of not knowing and just seeing what this opportunity was going to lead to.
I actually Googled you yesterday, which was what I was going to tell you when the cameras were not rolling. And I saw your headshots of when you were a little girl.
Stop.
Oh my God.
I was literally, I was like 9 or 10 and probably those headshots.
Yeah, so funny. It's crazy.
It's really crazy how everything kind of...
So would you say that nowadays, because back in the day, for all these casting and shows, they would hold casting events.
Yeah.
And now it's just a direct DM, followers on Instagram to be all these shows. Like, you think that's just like how it's happening nowadays?
I think with social media, they have more access to people. You know what I'm saying? They don't need to host these crazy, especially for reality TV, because reality TV, they're not trying to find actors. They're trying to find regular people like you and I, just, you know, trying to find love. But I think social media has given these casting directors and these agents and managers the platform to be able to search a specific person or exactly what they're looking for. So I think it's easier because it gives anyone access to being on a reality TV show, because it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't my purpose to be on this TV show. It kind of just happened for me. So it kind of just goes to show you that even if you're on there, you're on social media, it's not even about the follower count, because there was other people that went on the reality TV show that submitted an application, like, and they got called onto the show just by submitting an application. So I feel like there's a lot of different routes, and other people also got casted by by Instagram, by the casting director sliding into the DM. So it kind of just goes to show you that you don't need to have this big platform. You don't need to be, you know, with a certain amount of number of
just be authentic.
Be authentic, be yourself, and like it can come, you know, and it will come, because it happened to me.
Yeah. And when you were there, what was the process like behind the cameras, like during the shoots, when the cameras were not rolling, like what was happening? Because we don't know that. The days, it's 5 episodes and it's probably like 3 weeks, let's say.
Yeah.
So we don't know what goes on. Like,
and
we
you
don't
kind
see
of
that.
always hear it from this whole different person. Is it really like that, where the other girls or the guys kind of changed their whole
like
personality as soon as they started recording, or did everyone stay true to who they were?
Yeah, who they were.
mean, I can't speak for other people because I literally did not know any of these people before the show. Yeah. They're from all over the world, different states. But what I will say, and I feel like a lot of the other girls and also men on the show can agree with me, is that the cameras are literally rolling 10 to 12 hours a day. Like, we're filming 10, 12-hour days. It gets to a point, especially after 2-3 weeks into it, the cameras are not even there. Like, you feel like they're not even there because you're just going on about life.
And tune it out.
Yeah, like, you literally tune it out because you're living in this house with other people, and you just have to keep moving, keep going, keep doing what you're doing. So for me personally, it got to a point where I like tuned out the cameras. They also have like hidden cameras and hidden microphones. So you really don't know. Like, you just, in my head, I just always remembered like I'm being on camera 24/7.
You took it as a job. You knew you were working.
Yes and no, because I obviously had my fun and I was myself. But
self-awareness.
Yes, I was very self-aware in the fact where it's like I knew that there was cameras on me 24/7. So going into it, my mindset was like, my abuelita's gonna see this. My mom is gonna see this.
Yeah, I want to know what they thought about this.
You know, like that was my mindset. So I want to make sure that I'm in a way showing my true self, but also like my mom is gonna see this, so I'm not gonna be promiscuous or like super scandalous, because also that's not what I would be doing if I was out in the club in Miami. Like, yes, I'm gonna twerk and take shots, but like
with respect,
with respect, with respect,
classy.
Because, we gotta keep a little classy.
And was it real? Because I watched it. There was a love interest in the show, right? Which he ended up going and leaving with the girl that his girlfriend who he came with in the show.
There's a lot of spoilers.
Yeah. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. Yeah. Was it real? Because there was a huge age gap too. Like, how was that for you?
And did anyone at some point, this is coming from the production aspect, approach you and say, hey, like, you're gonna be one of the ones that makes it with one of the guys that came?
Yeah.
Or was it just happened?
Was it real or was it planned? That's what we want to know.
So this is so funny because this is probably like the most asked question. Anytime I'm sitting, like a client sitting in my chair, they'll be like, okay, so I know you're on this TV show. Like, was it real? Like, was it scripted? Like, was that real? And the honest truth is that it is real. Like, in the sense where we do not have a script where they're saying, Sophia, you need to say this and action, and you go there, and there's none of that. Obviously, there's guided interviews.
Quick little break. Calling out all the Miami girls. Struggling to find the perfect nail salon that doesn't feel like a factory? Well, we got the place for you. That Girl Beauty Bar, located on Southwest 12th Street in the heart of Little Havana, offering gel mani and pedis, acrylics, aprons, and hair services that will exceed your beauty and self-care expectations. Get 10% off with code CONFESSIT when booking.
I remember conversations that I had with one of the casting directors where they were like, we were like not betting money, but like, in our heads we kind of assumed, okay, this girl's gonna go with this guy, and
based on personalities,
based on personalities and what the guys said that they, what the men said that they liked in their types. Obviously, the casting directors in their head kind of had an idea of how they thought it was gonna happen. But like, one of the casting directors were like, never did I ever think that like you would be with Tom, or you know, this guy would be with this girl. Like it kind of it happened naturally in a sense. Like we gravitated to each other naturally. So yes, there's guided interviews in the sense where like when we have our interviews, like it needs to make sense, the questions that they're asking and what we're saying. But as far as the interaction between me and like the guy that like my love interest in the show, like all of that was natural conversations or like things that happened that just kind of happened naturally. So no, it's not scripted. I know a lot of people always ask, is it scripted? It's not scripted. Those are our own words, our own actions. Like everyone there, you know, chooses what they can say and do, you know? And like going back to what you're saying, obviously there is a lot of things that happen behind the cameras and when the cameras were off. Mind you, it was a month of filming and they have the cameras rolling 24/7. So there was a lot of things that, I'm not gonna say like chopped up things because that's not necessarily the case, but there was a lot of things that did happen that wasn't necessarily shown on camera. Like imagine there was only a certain amount of episodes. So they have to film, they have to fit hours of filming into like, you know, 10 episodes or whatever, however many episodes there were. So there was a lot of things that happened behind cameras, but I guess the main things were shown on TV for sure.
I mean, to show a connection between a couple based on so many hours of footage is hard.
Yeah, that's why I was like, what, did you feel anything for him?
So
like,
for example,
did you see a future or like something with this guy?
So Tom was definitely, in the beginning coming in, he wasn't the person that I looked at and I was like, oh my God, like, you know, I think a lot of us can say that Julian, which was the football player, that he was the most handsome one there.
Yeah,
in the
that's
sense
who I
where,
saw
like,
you ending up with. I was like, for sure she's gonna go for him.
Every girl there, like their mouth dropped when they saw Julian. They're like, oh my God. Like I swear, like these girls were like on it when it came to him. But if there's one thing I could say about Julian is that he had his eyes like to his girl the whole entire time. He was so loyal and he became such a great friend to me in the show. And I got really close to him and I learned a lot from him, but he kind of almost showed me that if a man really loves a woman, he's gonna stay loyal and faithful. Like I'm telling you, there would be times where girls would have too much to drink and they would get too friendly and he was like, get away from me. Like in the sense of like respectfully, like you're getting too touchy, you know? Like, and that really showed me that, man, there's guys out there that are really gonna respect their woman when there's sexy women throwing themselves at
temptation.
Exactly. 100%. When there's temptation.
And what was the craziest thing that you saw happening on or off cameras?
I would say the craziest thing was on camera and it was the threesome. There was a whole threesome.
Under the covers, right?
Under the covers on television.
That's wild. That's
They
wild.
didn't care. Their parents were watching nothing.
Yeah, no, sin pena. You saw the thrusting.
The parents probably didn't even know they were on the TV show.
You're right. Oh
yeah, I think that was the craziest. And seeing that all go down, I was like, I'm gonna just sip my tea and go to my little corner. It was crazy. I think that for me was one of the craziest things.
Was there a point where your family, you know, watching all the episodes kind of approached you and said, hey, Sophie, should we be expecting something like this? Were they scared, nervous?
Yeah, I think my dad just didn't want to see it. I don't think he even watched it. Like, obviously, like my dad does not want to watch that. Yeah. And he doesn't like reality TV show. My mom was my #1 fan. She was there every Tuesday night watching the TV
She's
show.
So cute.
And she like lived for it. I mean, I guess speaking for myself, I know that I didn't do anything like super crazy. I think the most thing that for me that I was like, oh my God, my mom is gonna watch this, was there was a time where Tom and I went on a date and they set it up very romantic, and it was like they wanted us to, the idea was like a mud bath where we had to like rub basically like
get very
mud.
touchy with each other. Okay.
Rub mud on each other. And after like an hour of rubbing mud, like I was like, you know, we gotta do something, because us rubbing mud on the shoulders is not gonna be like enough for them to stop filming. And it got really awkward, and we're just there like, so so what do you think? You know, so awkward. I think at that point I was like, you know, I'm just gonna give a little spice, you know, give a little spice. And that's when he like wrote something on like my top, like I had a bikini on, and on like my upper like butt, like not my butt cheek, my lower, but like my top, he kind of wrote something. I think it was like a heart and then like Tom or something like that. Yeah. I think that was the most promiscuous and like scandalous thing that I'm like, oh my God, my mom is gonna watch a guy rubbing mud on my booty cheeks.
My abuelita's gonna watch this.
My abuelita's gonna watch this and be like, Sophia, but no, other than that, there wasn't anything on my end. I think my mom probably was like, her jaw dropped when she saw that threesome. She was like, oh my God, que locura, But I mean, that's the whole point of the show.
Yeah.
Like something had to happen.
That's what makes it good TV.
There was like a tease and you hear like moaning and I was like, that sounds like Sophia. I thought, I'm like, bro, I thought that was you.
No,
the girl underneath the
die.
For the threesome.
I was like, Sophia, that was you. I was like, that's Sophie.
No, that was not me.
I was like, no, she didn't.
No, I wouldn't do that. No,
Oh
that was wild. But let me tell you, I will say there is a lot of alcohol involved. So imagine like a month.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah, but like, come on, alcohol.
A month is a lot.
A month is a lot. Like
they set it up for you.
Yeah, they set it up for you.
The producers know what they're doing, and they've been doing this for years, so they know what to do in order to set up like a scene. But at the end of the day, it's our decision that we're making in order to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. And what would you say you learned from this experience?
I learned a lot. I feel like it was a lot of self-growth. Like, I really didn't think that I was gonna come out of this knowing and feeling more like myself. And it was a lot of growth for me in the sense where I was able to see these men. Like, these men taught me a lot. And there was a lot of deep conversations, and it just kind of brought me closer to who I am as a person and knowing what I want for myself. I think I left that place, even though Tom and I, we still follow each other on Instagram. We still kind of congratulate. I know that he's still with his girlfriend, so I keep it very respectful.
Same girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, same girl. He's still with Chelsea, so I keep it very respectful in the sense where it's like, if I see him on something, or like, I'm gonna applaud him and kind of always be his like cheerleader on the sidelines. But even though obviously he ended up going with his girlfriend, I definitely learned a lot from him in the sense where it's like, you always want to be with someone that's going to want you to be the best version of yourself. And all these men, obviously there was other men that did end up cheating and have a whole threesome, so that I didn't learn a lot from him. But from the other men, I did learn that, like, for example, Julie and I learned that you can definitely find a man that temptation will be thrown in their face and they're gonna choose their girlfriend each and every time. Like, Julian really taught me that, and then Tom also taught me so much. I mean, there was an age gap, so I feel like I was able to learn a lot from him. And they were honestly like my best friends. Like, we got really, really close, and I was able to learn a lot about myself and what I wanted coming out of this. And not just that, but I feel like I got an even clearer vision of what I want in a man. Like, that's truly what I left this show with, and leaving the island. I was like, wow, like, I know that my man is out there and he's gonna be loyal, he's gonna be faithful, he's gonna root for me, and he's gonna want me to do he's gonna want me to be the best version of myself. I think that's what Tom taught me, that's what Julian taught me, as well as the other men too. They also taught me a lot. So I left Temptation Island a different person.
And after that, shortly she found love.
I did.
I think that after the show, at least from an outsider looking into your life through Instagram and social media,
you see the growth.
You had such a beautiful glow up right after the show. You opened up your own business, which we're about to get into. You just seemed so genuinely happy and grounded and really empowering to not just girls, but everyone, even guys watching you on TV. I have a couple of guy friends that I would drag along with me to watch the episode because I love reality TV. And the show does an amazing job at also proving that you can trust your partner. It's not always about, oh, you're going to Wynwood alone, oh, you're going to cheat on me. No, if you're with the right person, you can trust that person. Like you said, Julian was a perfect example. And that was really beautiful. So I applaud you for that.
If you get the opportunity to do something like this again, would you do it?
I would absolutely love to be in another reality TV show. I think now
the DMs are open.
The Bachelor franchise. Hit her up.
Perfect Match. Have you seen Perfect Match on Netflix?
No.
I'm watching it right now. I'm hooked.
I just started
because it has people from all the other shows. It's really good.
Oh, that's the one with the Love Is Blind and the Temptation Island girls.
All of it. Too hot to handle.
Sophie.
It's really good.
So let me finish what I'm saying.
Okay, go ahead.
Before you guys get too excited.
We're out here like casting her already.
So for example, obviously right now at this given moment, I'm in a relationship. I just opened up my business recently. So I think it really depends on the type of show. I would love to be like on The Circle, like maybe like a show that's
a good
like
one.
like a show that's maybe not so focused on love, because right now I'm in a full relationship and I'm not gonna be like,
bye,
I'm going,
want to come with me?
Right, going on Love Island to, Absolutely not. So as of right now, I definitely would, if the opportunity presented itself, I would go on another reality TV show depending on what it is based on. But I don't know, maybe if the opportunity presented, obviously when I'm not in a relationship, I would definitely do it all over again, because I personally had a really good experience with Temptation Island. Although it, filming for that many hours and being in front of a camera and kind of it's very hurry up and wait in that life. It was very emotionally exhausting and physically exhausting at times, but I feel like I'm a very strong-minded person, and I came out of that even stronger than I would have ever thought. So if the opportunity presented itself and it was a good reality TV show, absolutely, I would definitely go on it.
Perfect. And going back to what Ili said, after you came back, you opened up your studio.
Walk us through what that was like.
Yeah,
for you,
was that always your goal to do?
It was definitely always my goal to open up my business. I had been freelancing and a freelance makeup artist since 2015, since 17 years old in high school. That's when I started my freelance journey. So I always knew that I wanted to, but I feel like the show definitely opened up so many doors for me, in the sense where I had like this newfound motivation, and not just that, but it also pushed me to move out, to kind of just be more independent. Obviously, we're Cuban, rely on our parents for a lot, and my parents still to this day do so much for me. But I feel like being away for a month and a half, I came back and I'm like, I want to open my business, I want to move out, I want to do X, Y, and Z. I had this newfound drive and motivation just to do the most. And when the show aired, I think that really pushed me to open up. At first, coming from the show, I had opened up right after the show, I had opened up a small kind of salon suite situation. I was in a small kind of unit before opening up my big studio that I have now. But it really pushed me, especially with the audience that I was attracting from the show. I used to do makeup, I started my parents' kitchen countertop. So I knew, okay, I'm gonna be on television. I cannot be taking clients and bringing them.
You took advantage of the situation, the popularity, to grow.
And not just
that, a strategy.
Yeah, yes, a lot of eyes on you.
I definitely had a strategy in the sense where it just pushed me. Now that I'm going to be on television, I need to step up my game and just be more professional. So I was able to find a small kind of salon suite situation to rent out. And I kind of started there. And I was there for a year. And after I hit the 1 year mark in that small 11x7 studio, I was able to open up my full storefront beauty studio, which is Glamorous Looks. And I definitely can say that Temptation Island really put me on the map, in the sense where it brought a new audience to my social media. I was able to get verified on Instagram, which also is huge. Once I got that verification check, I literally wanted to cry. That's really big.
It changed everything.
It changed everything for me, and it just gave me this newfound professionalism. And I feel like that coming back from that show just really pushed me to be the best version of myself in all aspects.
And ever since I've known you, you have tunnel vision. You put a goal in your mind, you reach that goal. What fuels you? Because to a certain extent, money could do so much. What would you say fuels you and your passion?
I think what fuels me is number one, I love what I do. I love what I do. I've been doing makeup for a really long time, and I still feel like I'm not working. Don't get me wrong, I have 10-hour days and it's exhausting, especially now that I have a team working under me. But I'm really passionate about what I do. And I feel like number one, passion motivates me. And also setting my future up to not struggle. I get that money's important, don't get me wrong, and I have goals financially that I want to hit at certain ages and marks, but I want to set myself up now and work my ass off now, so that by the time that I'm 30, 35, wanting to have kids, I don't have to be doing what I'm doing, in the sense of all the hours I'm putting into it. Then that's always been my mindset. Work your ass now in your 20s. Your 20s is for building. Your 30s is for relaxing and enjoying the fruits of your labor, is what I like to say. Yeah. So that's my motivation, is setting myself up now so I can be able to have kids. I can be able to build a family. I can be able to do all of that without having to work a 10, 12-hour day doing clients, what I'm doing now. Because ideally, I don't have a life right now. We were just talking about that before we started.
I came in here, she was really stressed and phone was ringing.
All over the place.
People.
I don't have a life right now, but I know that all of this is going to pay off.
Yeah.
It's
worth it.
And that's what motivates me. Number one, I think that passion and loving what I do, but not just that, I feel like now with teaching makeup classes, I wish that I had something like what I'm doing now when I first started doing makeup. And now that I started this like 8-week makeup and mentorship course, I'm seeing people, you know, like build their confidence, and I'm seeing people like love what they do, not knowing where to start, and I'm able to help them and guide them, you know, and like that's also something I'm very passionate about, educating. And I feel like that's the route that I really want to start focusing on, just educating people to like do the same thing I did. Like, you have a love for makeup, you know, you have this hustle, you have this drive.
Yeah.
You're starting in your parents, you know, in your parents' house, but you can get to where I'm at if you really absolutely love and have that passion and that consistency and hustle and drive. Like, if I can do it, you can do it. And now I feel like I love the fact that I'm able to teach people how to build their technique, build their confidence, and honestly, like, help them become a fully booked makeup artist. Because at the end of the day, there's tons of makeup artists. Like, this in Miami, there's tons of makeup artists, you know.
Especially now, like, you would look back like 2 to 3 years ago, okay, maybe there wasn't as many.
It's hard to find a good one.
A good one, yeah. But now there's so many, and they're all pretty good.
Yeah,
they're pretty talented.
Exactly.
It's how you execute
Yeah.
and your
Absolutely.
brands and
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I
because
feel
it's not only knowing how to paint the face.
Yeah,
It's
no,
about
no.
the marketing, the brand,
put yourself
the
out there,
strategy,
your
everything.
team.
everything.
You have a team
Everything.
under you, and now you're teaching girls. And it's kind of what you said. For me, it took having that one role model, which was a friend from our sorority, and seeing her succeed in the field. You know, she has a nail salon, and watching her grow and not have a life.
Yeah.
It didn't happen overnight. She had to give up a lot, sacrifice a lot. But watching her and hearing her talk on her videos about how she got there, it's really that what it takes to inspire other girls that are trying to be like you in the next 5 or 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for you.
And what advice would you give to someone who has that dream to become, you know, a successful business owner?
I definitely think consistency is number one. Like, that's, I know it's, everyone says, oh my God, consistency, but it's the truth. Like, if you have, how do I say it? Nowadays, we're blessed. Like, more than ever, we have social media to our advantage. Like, 10 years ago, if you wanted to be a makeup artist, if you wanted to start a business, it was so different, and we had to work 10 times as hard. Now, we are privileged to have social media, to have Instagram, to have TikTok. Like, those platforms, it's so easy to blow up, and it's so easy to make your dreams come true, whether it's opening up, whether it's makeup, or whether it's any other industry. Like, this goes for everyone. It's consistency. It's having a vision and really just like you said, tunnel vision, and focusing on what you want and working every
But
single
also
day.
having something unique that makes you stand out, because
Absolutely.
there's thousand millions
of
doing the
competition.
same thing as you.
Yes, but that's kind of where it trickles back to consistency.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
not everybody's consistent.
Not everyone's consistent.
They give
and
up.
They give up. They
Yeah.
try it for a month. They try it for a year, and they're like, oh, well, you know, this year didn't do that well. This month didn't do that well. As an entrepreneur, we have our high months, we have our low months. And it's going to happen. It's always going to be up and down, and it's an uphill battle. But those high months are going to be our highs. And as long as you're consistent in every single way, you will be successful in what you do. Obviously, like, branding and knowing what you like, that's why I say tunnel vision. Like, really create a brand for yourself, a vision of what you want. Like, who do you want to be? What do you want to portray to others? What do you want to teach others? How do you want to improve someone's everyday life? Once you kind of figure those, like, the fundamentals and the foundation of your building your brand, then it's just consistency, pushing content out, because you can literally blow up overnight over like TikTok. One of my videos hit like over 1 million views, and it was this, like, not the stupidest video, but it was like a video like, oh, it's funny.
It's always the
Like,
ones you don't expect.
You
the ones
didn't
that
think it
blow
would
up.
go
It's
viral.
always
crazy
the
how
ones that you
happens.
don't expect that will go viral. But if you're constantly pushing out content, one of them is gonna have
It's
to
bound
hit.
to happen, for sure. It's bound to happen.
Yeah, there's more probability of it happening.
And I think, going back to the question, I think what's really important in building your brand is also education. I feel like, don't get me wrong, I did go to beauty school, but I'm very much self-taught. But till this day, I still go to makeup seminars. And people tell me, and they look at me, Sophia, why you teach makeup classes? Like, why are you going and, you know, taking a hair class or taking a makeup class? And in every industry, it's always evolving. There's always new trends.
100%.
There's no cap to your education. And I feel like taking classes and a refresher course and seeing what other people's techniques are and taking a class with them. Like, I do online classes. I do this. I constantly am educating myself, because there's always going to be someone that's going to bring out a new technique, a new product, a new wave. And you have to be in this industry, in any industry, you have to be ever growing and evolving with the times and keeping up with social media. So education is super important. And I feel like it's something people don't talk about a lot.
Yeah, especially
It's
makeup. Like, if you think about it, the way you do your makeup now, it's not the same.
Completely different.
Who used to contour? We will
Completely
have
different.
one face color, maybe blush, and that's it. Like, nobody would contour.
It was just
before.
one pale face and very
One pale
smoky
face.
eyes.
Or the shade was probably like darker than the rest of
And
your
the sharp
body.
lip liner.
The 2016 eyebrows.
Yes,
Girl,
yes,
that
yes.
ABH dip brow was on a chokehold.
There's just so many trends constantly coming out. So it's exactly what you're saying.
Education is
Education,
important.
keeping up with those trends.
Super.
Yeah.
Everyone, all the clients that always come to you want the latest in. So imagine like when the wing started popping, I was like, oh my God, I don't know how to make, like, I don't know how to draw a line like that. Like, how do I do it? And because I didn't know how to do it at first, I lost a lot of potential clients.
Yeah, because that's they wanted that smoky eye.
So it's so important.
You have to
for
stay with the
education.
times.
Yeah.
And if someone's interested in taking your classes this year, what do they need to do?
So everything is on glamorouslookstudio.com. So you go on the website, and I have different courses. So my most popular course, especially for those who are like starter makeup artists that kind of, they have their kit, they know that they love makeup, they have a passion, but they kind of, want to improve their techniques and they don't know how to go about really making makeup their full time. I've recently curated this course. It's an 8-week makeup and mentorship course where it's once a week and people come in, and we have the business day where it's all about business 101, how to brand yourself, how to create yourself as a beauty influencer or makeup artist, and then every class after that is all hands-on. So I have a few different courses, but for the starter person that wants to learn how to become a makeup artist, my 8-week makeup and mentorship course is for that. Then I have my private one-on-ones, which is just me and the other artists, just one-on-one time. And then I also, because I like to cater to everyone.
So many.
I know. I do have my classes that are my
Like, how do you even put this together?
Girl, tunnel vision.
I know.
Vision.
And also, I also like to think about like what can I cater that's gonna help people,
and what's
their
not
makeup.
out there yet, like thinking
Exactly.
ahead of the game.
So for example, I do have a 1-day makeup course, which is for people that they don't want to become a makeup artist, but they love makeup and they want to learn how to do it on themselves. So that 1-day makeup course is basically hands-on with the person is doing it on themselves. So they're improving their makeup techniques. So I have the 2 different types of classes. The ones that it's for people that actually want to pursue makeup and learn how to do makeup on others. And then I have the courses and the 1-day classes that are for people that just want to improve their own makeup techniques and learn how to do the wing liner, learn how to do the smoky eye, or match their foundation.
What's next for you?
What's next? That's a good question.
I know.
I can't spill the beans too much.
Yeah,
but
a little
definitely-
overview.
Yeah,
a little sprinkle.
I definitely see myself really building my team and really just making my studio right now the best version that it can be. I definitely want to continue educating and maybe even make different courses, maybe longer courses for people that really want to pursue makeup. And I'm always looking for new faces and new artists and new talent. So just building, for me, I have an amazing team of girls, and it's just continuing to build an amazing legacy, an amazing team of talented artists, and hopefully open up like more locations. That would be an absolute dream of mine. Like just opening up new locations.
Especially across like county lines.
Yes,
that'd be cool.
girl,
Out of
hopefully I'll
state.
open up a little, right?
LA,
open up
New
a little
York.
glamorous looks like downtown and midtown, you know what I'm saying, in Brickell, something
That'd be
like
nice.
that.
Yeah.
But definitely just expanding glamorous looks as a whole, and definitely expanding my artist tools. So I also I don't sell products just yet, but I do sell lashes and artist tools. So just expanding that. So it's basically like a one-stop shop for all things glamorous. That's the slogan. And just basically making it easier for someone that has a love for makeup to just come on the website, buy tools, sign up for classes or book in a makeup appointment. Just making it easier for
Everything
someone
there.
to just, glam themselves up.
Love it.
Oh my God. I feel like we've talked
I
for like a
know.
year.
I know.
So much.
We learned so much. Anything else you want to touch base on?
I think I want to wrap it up because it's kind of been lingering in my mind.
Yeah, what?
I want to take it back to how you said, like, initially you wanted to go on this reality TV show with your ex. And in the previous episode last week, we talked about, like, oh, are you still friends with your ex and whatever? Is this something you reached out to him to let him know, hey, by the way, I'm going on the show that I told you about a few months ago? I think this is the perfect ending because it's juicy drama and it's basically another confession. So I can't go to sleep tonight without knowing.
Yeah, what's
I
your
need to know.
situation with that?
No, I did not tell him. And yeah, no, we don't talk.
He never reached out or liked anything, nothing.
Is he's
I don't want to say things that
I
are
know
gonna
something.
get him in trouble.
Yeah.
But I mean,
answers to that.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't want to say anything that's gonna get him in trouble, but definitely there was no communication.
No communication.
Yeah, I mean, and if there was communication, it was very cut short, because I feel like once one door closes, I'm gonna leave that door closed.
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
The past should stay.
Yeah,
there.
I definitely left that relationship knowing that it was for the better. And this opportunity, when it presented itself, it was a sign from the universe, like, girl, run, do your own thing, become the best version of yourself, and leave everything in the past and just move forward. So yeah, it was just very black and white. He definitely saw that on TV.
Yeah, and I think when those relationships end, I mean, it goes back to the reason why it ended. And depending on the reason is whether you choose to, you know, either stay friends, or even if it's like a faraway friend. It depends on how it ended. And in that situation, different situation.
Yeah, we didn't end as friends. Let's just say that.
There was just closure, and leave it as that, and that's it.
Yeah. It was very much like, this is how it ended, and I'm not going back.
Yeah, like goodbye.
Goodbye.
Peace out.
I'm gonna move on to bigger,
Off
better
to
things.
Hawaii I go.
Yes, packing my bags.
Off to Hawaii.
To Hawaii.
Oh my God.
Would you ever open an OnlyFans?
Oh, you know what's really
Hell
funny?
yeah.
So
Girl, I think you would do good.
I'm dead. You know, it's really funny. So if I were to ever open up an OnlyFans, it would be to, how do I say? If I were to ever open up an OnlyFans, I would definitely have a strategy with it. So, it would mainly be like makeup classes, or tea on what happened in the reality TV show. Like, it's not going to be the traditional OnlyFans, but that's how you get them. You know,
but it's still exclusive content that you don't post for free. So
exactly.
But I think people will be bamboozled. Be like, oh, she's gonna show some ass.
Bamboozled.
Oh, no, I am going.
They would definitely
subscribe. Be like, this is makeup? No.
But that's where the strategy comes in. You know what I'm saying? So if I were ever open up an OnlyFans, it would be to my advantage. You know, people think, wow, OnlyFans, she gonna get real scandalous on there, and it's like, psych, it's a makeup tutorial.
And then they forget to cancel the subscription, and she's making money every month.
It's like, if you watch until the end, there might be a little surprise, and then there's just nothing.
It's just
like the full look.
It's all about strategy. So that's the
You're
only
tunnel vision.
Yes, tunnel vision. I think that's the only way that I would open up an OnlyFans. But it would be exclusive content, just not the content the person thinks it is.
Just another course, basically, that you pay for.
Exactly. Exactly.
Promo code, discount code, OnlyFans. I love it.
I know that if I did open up on OnlyFans, I know the money,
you would thrive.
that I would be making. But for me personally, it's just not me, and it's not my brand.
No,
it's
you have
not
to stay true to
moral.
yourself.
Yeah, and it's not even about moral.
No judging out there if you're making hella money right now.
Make
hey,
your money, honey. Listen,
Yeah.
listen, makeup
I
for the
envy you. If
OnlyFans.
anything, I envy y'all.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm here, like, I be doing makeup for girls getting their content from
Yeah.
OnlyFans, and I live for it. I love it. Get your bag. But for me personally, it just wouldn't go with my brands, and I feel like everything I built, it would kind of like be moving.
No, and you have your shit
It'll
together.
overpower.
You have your shit
You
together.
don't need it. It'll overpower whatever you're doing,
Yeah.
entrepreneur-wise,
Absolutely.
and makeup artist.
But if I were to open up an OnlyFans, I definitely have thought about it and having a strategy to it. Like, people would think it's something, and then I would bamboozle them.
Love that word. All right,
Well,
guys.
Sophie.
I think we're good. Anything else?
Can we please look at Milo and
I
how
know,
nice
Milo?
he's been? He's been
Milo.
so cute. Milo. Oh, shh.
He's a little.
There's a little pillow, and
Milo.
he's like a little
been
circle.
so good.
He's been sleeping the whole
He's
time.
been, yeah, he really has.
I thought he was Milo.
It's Milo. I spelled Milo, but it's Milo.
Milo. Look at him. He's so cute.
All right, guys. Well, Sophie, thank you so much for joining us today. Our first guest down.
Our first guest. A perfect one, too.
I know. We
I
learned
feel like you
so
did all the
much.
speaking for us.
I hope you guys learned. I know we're here. We're like, woo, taking information in. I hope you guys out there learned as much as we did today. And don't forget to subscribe, follow, like,
comment,
leave us
share.
a review, tell us who you want to see, and
if you yourself are interested in being part of our podcast,
reach out
at
to
some
us,
point,
DM
reach
us,
out to us.
email us.
We love having
we're
fresh
listening.
new
We're
faces
looking.
and people that love to talk. Sophie was the perfect guest because she
do
can
love
talk for hours. So just hit
and it's
us up,
very
guys.
informational too. All right, guys. Until
am
next
dying.
time. Bye.
Bye, guys.